So I just had a thought, because I've got just like an elevated platform out the front of my back door, and I've walked out onto it, and it's changed my perspective from a physical standpoint. And I thought, what does that mean? And I looked around and I could see more than I normally would if I was to just step down onto the carpet like I usually would. And it occurred to me that, okay, perspective, and the higher up you go, the more perspective you have, like of an overall sort of perspective, but the less clarity you have on a smaller scale. Regardless, the thought I had was that I live on a fucking hill, right? And I don't know, maybe that thought occurred to people that are synonymous with, sage and masters of, or like Zen masters, like people like that, like gurus or whatever you want to call them. A wizard on a hill. And I thought, a wizard's always on a fucking hill. They're always at the top of a hill. And then I thought maybe somewhere along the lines that's the image that's been created for people that have wisdom of sorts. They always tend to be sitting on a hill. And maybe that's been depicted through art and whatnot over the years, because that is it's a theme, it's a trending theme. Anyway, just a thought. Alright, it's bedtime but I need food. And I don't know what to make. Understanding also that Bumsy the Great does not please easily. Walking down. What's something that Bumsy himself, the bum of all sages himself. Okay, shut the fuck up, ego. Shut up. Sorry. That was the ego speaking. Man, but what does Bumsy the Great really want to fucking have for dinner? Or has he already had dinner? No, nah. But yes, but no. Oh, excuse me so much. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's what people say. I say it, man. And it's nice. It's nice as fuck to apologise for things that you do. And I hope you continue to fucking do that. Because otherwise I'll fucking slap you in the face. But, like, it was always going to happen, whether you... it was always going to happen. Even the apology was always going to happen. If it happened, it was always going to happen. Anything that happens was always going to happen. Anyway, sorry. Fuck, man. I lose myself sometimes to the beauty and infinite capacity of the universe. Like I've just recently started thinking to myself, so many people talk about being woke, and I don't think you're truly awake until you understand in your core that to be awake is to be in the present 100%. Because you can't change the past, and the future is, you can't change that either. You can affect it, but the only way you can affect the future is by acting in the present. So yeah, sure, you got some control over the future, you got zero control over the past, but they can both influence, each other in reality, isn't it? Even the future can influence your past, because the future is, you go through experience and have outcome after outcome after outcome, and then it's, continuously being written in the future, but that in and of itself is also a direct manipulation, if you will, of the past. By controlling your future, you're controlling your past. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was like, fuck, I'm going to become a fighter pilot. Yeah, that's what I want to do in my future. So bang, all of a sudden, bang, tomorrow I'm a fighter pilot. And then the following day, I'm like, yeah, I'm a fighter pilot. You know what? I was a fighter pilot yesterday as well. Isn't that funny? You'd be like, isn't it so funny how, my idea of what I look for in the future can quite literally manifest the past. But then, when you dig deeper than that, and you realise that they're both so out of reach that all you have is now. I can't even describe what that means, but I have no doubt that for some of you it'll mean a great deal, and for others, maybe not. I do think, though, that in the long run, in the very long run, if people start to listen and like just shut the fuck up and listen to the world, to the universe around them, I think we'll continue to grow and progress. And that's it. That's all. And regress. You know, like it's not even a stretch of the imagination to consider that all the best things that have ever been experienced can realistically only be experienced by people that have had all the worst things. You know, like it's that ebb and flow. You can't have good without bad. You can't have on without off. You can't have in without out. You know. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Do you think it's possible that the meaning of life is, in fact, whether or not life has the capacity to survive and in so doing, be life? I was just thinking recently, as in seconds ago, that some people are pro-life and some people aren't. But I think the deeper truth is that the people that aren't pro-life are in fact pro-life. Because if they were alive, you know, if they weren't pro-life, they wouldn't be alive, you know. It's kind of this fucked up thing that I think deep down everyone that's alive wants to be alive. Whether they appear appreciative of that fact or not. When you get right down to the nuts and bolts and you think about what life is and its, you know, infinite mystery and its awe-inspiring beauty and its, you know, abyssal depths of tragedy. When you get to understand it for what it is, I think when it gets right down to it, we all want to live. And I think the meaning of life is whether or not the idea that we all truly do want to live, whether or not that idea wins out in the end, or whether or not death wins out. I think that's the meaning of fucking life. Is to test, to see whether or not we're willing to fight to continue to live. Maybe I've always been attracted to the dream. And by the dream I mean the realm that exists within the imagination. And it's occurred to me just now that I've always slept a lot, you know, because I've always been tired. I never really thought that maybe I was attracted to the dream. Maybe the constant analysis of conscious thought and conscious reality is taxing and tiring and draining as fuck. And to escape from that through any means necessary, maybe that's what I've always done. Wow, I just had like a realization, an epiphany, a massive epiphany. And it's, you know, like, 'cause I've not been super faced with things like love for like a while, because it's like, man, I've been there, I've done that. And it's like, yeah, it has its place in the world. But now I have other things. I have other things that I do fucking love a lot, right? So much. And obviously people that I love a lot, but just love itself, the fact that there are things that I really, really love. And you could say this of an addict, you know, they love their high, whatever it may be. And it just occurred to me that love, and like, you know how so many people have issues with drive. I'm one of them. And this is why this thought obviously presented itself to me, because you sit there, you find yourself at some stage wondering why it is so hard for you to do what you should do, or what you know, have a direction, or whatever it may be, convictions in whatever it is that you're pursuing or you want to pursue. And for me, like, there's things that I want to do. Some of them are not healthy, you know. For example, I want to get pissed as fuck today and talk this kind of existential shit. And maybe it's not healthy, but I really want to do it, so I'm doing it. And yeah, it's fucking epic is what it is.